Before we get into this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Now, over the year, you probably tried different investments in stocks and mutual funds, so then you know that they can be volatile and very unpredictable. But with inflation running at its highest rates in 40 years, do you want volatility and uncertainty? I think not. Being able to sleep at night knowing that your investment isn't about to crash is worth its weight in gold. Speaking of gold, if you've been jumping from one investment deal to the next, a gold IRA with Noble Gold is perfect just for you. A reliable hedge against inflation just fell into our laps. With gold, you can shield your gains from taxes. You can keep the real value of your wealth. You own a global asset, something tangible, and you can help protect your wealth against an economic crash. So then what's not to like? And this month, for every IRA above 20K, you'll get an incredible 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin, completely free, just as a thank you. And all you got to do is call 877-646-5347 now just to find out more about it, or you can visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. Now let's get to this video.
Now, for days, we have assumed, based on quite a bit of evidence, that the main threat to Supreme Court justices right now, and to our justice system itself, comes from groups of activist liberals who are enraged by the idea that Roe v. Wade might be repealed. These are the people who are spray painting churches and putting Sam Alito's home address on the internet. They're the mob, and they're angry. And we know why they're angry, so the whole thing made sense to us. But according to CNN, that's not what's happening.
What?
In fact, it's the opposite of what's happening. The real threat, CNN informed us this morning, comes not from people who are angry about Sam Alito's opinion, but from people who are happy about it. So the ones who are celebrating what Sam Alito wrote are the ones who are the real danger to the Supreme Court.
Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't just use a Bugs Bunny Jedi mind trick on people. If I'm hearing you correct, CNN are telling everybody that the danger with this decision is not coming from the radicals going crazy, screaming, yelling, all that stuff. It's coming from us, the ones who probably would be more likely to say, I don't see what the problem is. So now you're just going to switch that up. You're going to go ahead and lie to the people's face and say, no. These are mostly peaceful protesters, just like they did. And then when they showed up there in Michigan, where the people were just standing there with their guns, just protesting to go back to work.
How did they come up with this number of 6 feet? I think they just pulled it out of their rear ends.
70 Michigan people have died so far this year from COVID-19.
Have peace with one another and fight peacefully and prove how we can have...
Those were the white nationalist, racist, violent people. That's what that was. Regardless of what your eyes saw. No, flip that mess.
This morning, law enforcement officials are preparing for potential violence in the Capitol and nationwide after the leak of that Supreme Court draft opinion that would strike down Roe v. Wade after 50 years. Capitol Police are warning the far right is calling for violence against a religious group planning to rally for abortion rights. Whitney Wild is live outside the Supreme Court. Listen, seeing fences go up there, it's sort of like post-January 6th. So what are you seeing, and what specific intelligence is warning police officials?
Well, at this point, law enforcement sources, several of them tell us that they are closely monitoring social media chatter.
Hear what they did? Slide in that social media chatter. See that? Far right, planning more violence. January 6th. Can you believe these folks are actually saying this? This right here is amazing. We all see how clearly they're being used to do this. Now they're spreading dis and misinformation. I'm here exposing that mess. Yet, you give them the power to police the internet? You think they're gonna say, what that man just exposed is the truth, leave him be? Or would they say, scratch that man's video off? Because that man right there just came against our narrative of lying about who's really gonna be acting a fool. So get that man off the internet right now and label him as an extremist. Someone who's pushing dis and misinformation, as we allow CNN to lie. Listen to some more.
Suggests that there's a potential for violence against abortion clinic providers, abortion clinic staff, members of the judiciary. That would include the justices here, as well as members of the federal government. And what we know after January 6th, and what law enforcement knows across the country, is that social media chatter can manifest into actual violence. Sometimes people really do say what they're going to do.
You got that? Law enforcement sources tell CNN the real threat here is the far right. The far right. Fences are going up outside the Supreme Court because the far right poses a threat. The far right is the one you have to watch out for. They're the ones whose electronic communications you've got to, quote, monitor closely.
Of course.
And that makes sense. Now that Roe v. Wade may be going away, these people are going to want to bomb as many abortion clinics as they can and hurt as many Supreme Court justices as possible.
Because they gave us what we want. See, that's how mad we about it. Yeah, because they gave us what we want, we about to tear this sucker up. Now, does that make sense? If anybody got brains, they'll stop and think about that and say, wait a minute, why would they do that? I mean, it sounds like they would be happy about it. So if anybody would be doing that, it probably wouldn't be the far right, as they're calling us.
After all, the Supreme Court may get rid of a law that they have hated for 50 years.
Yeah, that makes
you can
us
see
mad.
why they'd be moved to violence against the Supreme Court. Now, our first response to this was to laugh. It seemed too absurd to be real. How dumb do they think we are? And then we remembered what the President of the United States and his Attorney General have been telling us for more than a year.
Laying the groundwork?
They've been telling us that no matter what happens,
Okay.
no matter what it may look like, the people who did it didn't vote for us. Yeah. The people who didn't vote for us are the dangerous ones. It's always their fault.
What?
Watch.
Okay.
I have not seen a more dangerous threat to democracy than the invasion of the Capitol.
The greatest terrorism-related threat
Black
that
Lives
we
Matter?
face in the homeland is the threat of domestic violent extremism.
According to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists.
Why they clapping?
Not Al-Qaeda, white supremacy.
Yeah, that's what they said, Tucker.
So when we reviewed those tapes, it started to make sense. Like the Mongols and the Visigoths before them, these dreaded white supremacists have declared war on civilization with Trump voters, and the evidence for that is all around us. We just ignored it because on some level we don't want to know.
Yeah, we're in denial.
But in retrospect, it was always right in front of us. You recall when Trump voters looted that Macy's in New York City.
All of us.
They couldn't help themselves. That's who they are. Then they torched a police precinct in Minneapolis.
That was
the
us.
very symbol of the law. They set it on fire.
That's
And then
what
they
we-
burned a federal building in Portland, Oregon.
Look at us, Trump supporters.
In case you've forgotten what all of these right-wing attacks looked like from white supremacists, here's what they did.
Okay, here we go, y'all. Look at all those KKK members. Wow. That's white supremacy, right? Huh. Oh my. Yeah, that sounds like something Republicans would do. Tear up your own car. Oh, well, look at those people in blackface. They're all in blackface. Yeah, those white supremacists are sagging, pants sagging. That was white supremacists. Yep, all those white supremacists, I guess. I don't
So you
know.
can see why they're putting up barriers in front of the Supreme Court. Those people are so happy with Sam Alito's opinion, they might start burning and looting
that's
again.
how
And
we
of course,
show
that
our
would
happiness.
be consistent with the years-long reign of right-wing terror we've been living through.
Yeah.
Because their thirst for anarchy and chaos is never sated.
Never.
At one point, these Trump voters seceded from the United States.
What?
They set up their own nation of lawlessness, drugs, and
That was
squalor
us?
and violence within the very city limits of Seattle.
Whoa.
Just like the Confederates of
Where's all the
1861,
red
but with
hats?
more weed and spray paint. Right in the middle of Seattle.
Where's the red
Talk about
hats?
brazen, but that's who they are. That could happen in your town.
Yeah.
No wonder America's abortionist community is cowering in fear tonight. And it gets worse. These MAGA people have so little respect for law and order, they think nothing of rushing into buildings, department stores, Walgreens, liquor stores, Foot Locker, and just taking what they want.
Look at us, Mac.
They steal armfuls of merchandise off the shelves and walk out the door like it's theirs. And then, purely to amuse themselves, they push strangers in front of trains and open fire on subway cars.
That white
They drive
nationalist
trucks
right
through
there.
Christmas parades and beat elderly Asian
Hey,
women on
buddy,
the
take
street.
those fake dreads off.
Now, you
know
can't
you're a
control
white
these
man.
people because they're beyond the reach of logic. They are so primitive and superstitious, they have come to believe they can defeat nature itself with magic amulets, like cosmetics and women's clothing. They think they're shapeshifters
Look at that
who can
conservative.
change their physical form at will.
Yeah.
Just become something different.
Yeah, that's all us.
You're seeing one on your screen right now. People like this don't believe in history or science. They're barely literate. So they communicate instead in grunts and unintelligible sounds. Here's the leader, the chief of their tribe, speaking in a language only they can understand.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
What did he just say? We don't know. You'd have to be a right supremacist MAGA person to understand. It's an esoteric language.
This is the stuff why they want to police the internet. Tucker just pulled up all those receipts. All those receipts. When I hear them to get out there and they're saying stuff like white supremacy is white extremism, and yet they don't show no footage. Mucus the other day couldn't reference anything. When they asked them, well, I mean, give us a case. How many you recommended to? Right now, I can't think of one at the top of my head. We just watched a montage of Democrat voters and citizens encouraged by the Democrats to do everything they're accusing us of doing, as they lied and just said, the danger over this decision by the Supreme Court is us radicals. We are so elated that they overturned that we are going to go and invade that Capitol again, that we're going to go out, burn and loot and attack the justices for doing what we wanted them to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and do all of that as we sit and watch CNN lie right through their teeth. Joe Biden lied through the teeth. The Secretary of Defense, the DOJ, all of that. Do you see the power that's behind what they're trying to do to our country? These aren't good people. These are people who are evil enough to say, you know what? The folks that don't agree and let us have our way, we're willing to destroy them, even if they're our own citizens. We would do whatever we need to do to stay in power and accomplish our goal and agenda. If we have to lie, demonize them, falsify information, create new laws, create new categories, change up terms, all of that stuff, we'll do it. We are dealing with some evil folks because they are dealing with the most evil folk of all. And that is Satan and every single nasty spirit that's motivating them to get on TV and push this garbage right here. They are ripping the country completely apart. And they know they are. This is big stuff right here, guys. I pray that America has more grace and more time so that we can see some justice happen to these evil folks, starting with November 3rd. I mean, in November, I don't know if the voting day is the 3rd, but get their tails out. Get them out, and I pray that God puts some real conservatives in office that will expose this stuff and actually punish these people for doing what they're doing. Unbelievable. But until then, y'all got me. That's right. I'm gonna expose this mess until they come get me and take me off the internet. Prayerfully that won't happen. But you can help that not happen by hitting that like button, sharing my videos. Thanks to all of those who've been donating to my channel, PayPal, my Cash App, all that good stuff, and the super chat. Make sure you're still subscribed to my channel. And of course, you gotta check your notification button, make sure it's still set to all of the steps you got to go through that they done put in place so that someone like me doesn't look like people watches and enjoy that stuff, you know? Make something that's unpopular appear to be popular. Something that is popular appear not to be popular. You see how they work? See, this is the stuff they do. So we're here to expose it, and we got to stick together as we go through these very, very turbulent times. So I just want to say thanks to all of y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And of course, before we get out of here, God bless you. God bless America. Don't forget to hit that like button, share my videos, find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. And please check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, please click on the link below this video. Put Kevin in a promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. If you'd like to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. The links are below this video. If you want to be a part of my $2 a month club, also feel free to do that. All it entails is you simply dropping $2 a month into one of those links below the video. Or if you want, you can drop a nice big fat lump sum in there to offset the stuff that we know goes on with big tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed. And finally, set your notification button to all, because YouTube is playing games, y'all. Now, God bless you. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.